she saw her daughter kissing her son. Such an absurd thing made the old woman feel sick, so she ran to the bathroom and vomited into the toilet. In the mother's mind, the foster child was actually her husband's illegitimate son. How could blood-related siblings fall in love with each other? In order to prevent this from turning into a tragedy, the mother, full of anxiety that night, went into her daughter's room and asked right away whether she had been intimate with her boyfriend. When she heard her daughter say no, the mother finally felt some relief. Fortunately, Min-soo and Kyunghyun had not made a major mistake yet. It was still possible to break them up in time, so the mother found an excuse to trick Kyunghyun into going to a restaurant. Only then did Kyunghyun realize he was being set up on a blind date, and the blind date was none other than his co-worker, Siran. Actually, Siran didn't know the mother was trying to set her up with someone. Although she had long had a crush on Kyunghyun, she never dared to show it. She also knew the man's heart already belonged to someone else, so she did not have much hope with a blind date. But what surprised Siran was, Kyunghyun gave her no face at all in front of others. He flatly refused the blind date, saying he already had a girlfriend. After explaining, he left the three of them and hurried away. Siran's mother was furious at Kyunghyun's rude behavior. She could only comfort her daughter, saying she would find a more suitable match next time. Seeing her plan ruined by her son, the mother immediately chased after him and asked him to go back and apologize. Kyunghyun repeatedly insisted he already had the girl he loved, and asked her not to set up blind dates so casually in the future. The mother said, "You were so determined to marry my daughter, aren't you?" Hearing this, Kyunghyun finally realized the mother had deliberately arranged the blind date. She already knew he was in love with his sister. Even though she refused to let go of Min-soo, Kyunghyun still went ahead without hesitation, because the two of them truly loved each other and wanted to be together. From the mother's point of view, what Kyunghyun was doing was clearly revenge on her, because she never showed him love. Now he was deliberately trying to ruin her daughter's future. When she saw reasoning wouldn't help, Kyunghyun didn't want to waste words and walked away. The mother, seeing that this half-siblings insisted on getting married, furiously ran into the middle of the street, threatening to end her life unless Kyunghyun and her daughter broke up. Luckily, the man rushed over in time and pushed the mother out of harm's way, so the tragedy was avoided. Although both suffered only minor scrapes, Kyunghyun was deeply disappointed by his foster mother's behavior. He never expected she would rather risk her life than accept him as her son-in-law. In order to end their relationship as soon as possible, the mother began looking for suitable men for Min-soo, claiming she just wanted her daughter to meet more quality men, so she could compare and see who was more suitable. But Min-soo only had Kyunghyun in her heart. In a moment of desperation, she told her mother that her brother was her boyfriend, and she hoped her mother wouldn't set her up with men anymore. The old woman pretended to be surprised upon hearing her daughter's words, because how could siblings be in a relationship? In Min-soo's mind, the mother had long treated her brother like her own child, so she should have liked him, right? But the mother could only lie and say she liked Kyunghyun as her son, but couldn't accept him as her son-in-law. After all, Kyunghyun was an orphan with no parents of his own, and she naturally wanted only the best family for her precious daughter. Eventually, the mother and daughter had a serious falling out over this issue. Kyunghyun, seeing that his foster mother would even rather die than accept him as her son-in-law, stayed away from home for several consecutive days. Each time he just dropped Min-soo home and left in a hurry. Min-soo knew it was her mother working behind the scenes. Unable to accept that fact, she cried in front of her mother. But no matter how upset she was, her mother remained indifferent. She even threatened if her daughter took pills and tried to take her own life, she still would never accept Kyunghyun's identity. Min-soo felt utterly hopeless about her mother's attitude, so she went straight to her boyfriend's place and spent the night at Kyunghyun's apartment. When the mother learned about this, she rushed over early in the morning. When she saw her daughter lying in bed asleep, her face full of disbelief,